Hey, welcome to the show, live from Dennis's house, the world's only record review show, comedy show, live musical performance in the entire world. You can go to China, you can go to Russia, you can go to London. Is London a country?
London's a country.
You can go to Ohio. You can go any
also a
country. Can you name any more countries? I failed
Australia.
history there. So geography.
Yeah, geography.
So anyway, this show is live from Dennis's house, and that's what we do. We play vinyl, vintage vinyl records, and I have guests on. And today, my guests are actually James. Do you like to be called James or Jimmy?
You call me Jimmy.
All
Call
right.
me Jimmy for the show.
James Jimmy McNally and his mom Maria in the back. I've known them for since they were born.
Since
since
I was
Jimmy
born.
was born. Maria is Jim's mom,
Yes.
and my friend Jimmy is Jimmy's dad.
Yes.
So
Vicious
today we're going to be doing Electric Ladyland by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Look at that. Show both sides.
It's a gorgeous album.
Yes. And
Look at that.
the tradition, are you aware of the tradition?
What is the tradition?
You got to smell the album.
Oh, smell it, yes.
Because it's all musty inside. Inside's
Yes.
even better. It takes me back to being a child. Yeah, smell the
It
inside.
is,
It
it
really
is.
is good in the
Oh,
inside.
it's good. Wait your turn.
Let her have a little.
There you go.
Yeah,
Get right in the crack there. It's there.
Oh, there it is.
That's a
That's
beautiful
the spot.
thing.
Yes. So,
All right.
we will, we're going to listen to some. Actually, let's start listening to
Yeah.
some of it right
Let's
now.
turn it on.
Listen to that crazy stuff.
Oof.
This album was released 1968, October of
It's
1968.
October 25th.
Very good.
October 25th,
All right.
1968.
Let's see what song's going to come on. I don't hear anything. Oh my god, it's a blank album. I got gypped. There it is.
Oh.
This is one of the best
Kicks
albums
in.
ever recorded. Would you
Yes,
agree with that? Everyone
absolutely.
should own this. It's a double album. It's amazing.
Absolute perfection.
Yes. Oh, listen to this.
Oh.
Look at this kind of See, normally we don't just stop and listen, but this song is so good. I
Have to listen.
I'm going to see if I hit the high notes. Because I got a deep voice, but I'm going to see if I can hit this
I
high
think
note.
you can get it.
I want to show you.
Dennis, nailed it. Nailed it.
Well, nail's
It's
a
like
strong word.
perfect pitch.
Did that
But
hurt?
I kind of injured myself. Let's take a break now. So we'll come back to that.
That's great.
So
So,
the reason I have these my guests on today is that, like I said, I've known them all my life, but I haven't seen you guys in 20 years. I've seen you
well,
recently.
We didn't get a chance to talk because
Right.
you were very busy.
Yes,
We were
you-
doing the Sandy Relief, concert, and that was just, you were all over the place. So I didn't have time to sit down and talk to you.
Right.
So,
You
yeah.
never told me any of this.
I
You
did.
didn't even know I had a show till just now.
What?
Barely out of the loop, Mom.
Yeah, you're out of the loop. So I've been all over the place. I've been in a lot of things. But yeah, we all grew up in Queens together. And when did you guys move out here to Tom's River? You live in Tom's
17
River
years
now.
ago.
17?
Was it something?
17?
Yeah.
Your sister's 15?
Wow.
Wow. And I've been out here 24 years.
You moved after I was a year old?
Yeah. As soon as you were born, I said, I'm getting out of Roseville.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy's here.
Because I remember, you were the craziest little kid. The one thing I remember, maybe I dreamed this, but I believe it's pretty true. We were on a camping trip one time, and you hit your Uncle Albert Mazza in the head with a rock.
That's 100% true.
Wasn't
All
a
right.
dream.
Chuck the rock out of his head.
Yeah, speaking of that, your Uncle Albert Mazza is going to be coming on in a
I
couple
know-
weeks
I
to
know
do the
he
show
is.
as well.
Almond,
So
you
you
guys
guys
know
can
the
come
Almond.
back
We
and
may
be the
have to come
audience.
down here to
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
him.
I think I'd love to be in the audience for
Yeah.
sure.
So, can we talk about your father now?
Yeah,
Yes.
please, jeez.
He's the topic.
See, he's not here, and I haven't seen him in at least 20 years as well,
Oh, yeah,
too.
it's
So
been
he's
a
in
while.
Florida now?
Yeah, he's in
All
Florida.
right, in the witness protection program?
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
all right,
he doesn't
so-
have a computer, barely has a cell phone, off the grid. I'm surprised he has a bank account. He's afraid the CIA, FBI are gonna
Yeah,
run into him
exactly.
and find him.
But some of the stories that I can't tell, I was thinking about this earlier, about some of the stories that I can actually tell.
Oh, God,
They're
this is
like
gonna be
the
great.
two funniest stories. They both happened in the same day, actually.
Oh, my God.
That, Maria, do you remember that there was a Jewish deli by the Green Acres Mall, Ben and Sal's? and I guess you don't, but
going.
Ben and Sal's were there, right? So anyway, the whole gang of us, we were teenagers. We went there. We went to the mall, hanging out, and we stopped at Ben and Sal's, right? And there's a counter there, and they have rotisserie chickens going around there. And your dad, Jimmy, was standing right there in front of the rotisserie chickens, and he was talking to Ben or Sal, I forget which one, and he was like asking him questions so the guy would turn around, and every time Ben turned around or Sal turned around, your dad took a bite out of the rotisserie.
Oh my God!
That's him.
And then after we did that, and I believe we sat down and we ate and we ran out without paying.
Yeah,
probably.
naturally,
I don't know. If we could say
that's a
this.
shocker.
I think statute of limitations is over, so we can't get in
7
trouble.
years, I think. Yeah.
So we were walking home, and it's a main highway there, and we're walking, and we're right up at the light, and this car stops. And there's like a bunch of girls in it. We don't know them. They're complete total strangers. The car stops at the light. Your dad jumps into the back seat of the car, opens the back seat, gets in the car.
Doesn't know them.
Doesn't know them. Never saw them before. These girls are screaming. They're kicking, hitting them. And he gets out of the car and they drive away, you know.
Oh,
and it's
my God.
You couldn't do stuff like that. Now
No.
he would be arrested for kidnapping,
Yeah.
terroristic
Absolutely.
threats, all that stuff. So.
It's different era. You guys got away with murder. You were like, I'm surprised half you guys are still alive. From what
I know.
Jesus.
You guys seem to be much better behaved than we
Yes.
were. You know, my
Yeah.
kids are so well behaved. I have no idea how that happened. But
We had to adapt. Like, we had no choice.
yeah, they don't take.
And
that
we
out
can't
here.
top your story. We can't top your childhood. Like we just
No,
gave up. Like, all right,
no way.
we gotta be calm,
Yeah.
cool, and collected.
So, all right. So we'll get back to more of that stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on today. We're gonna perform a song. Jimmy, like I was saying, little Jimmy here. I'll call you Little Jimmy. How
That's
about
fine.
that?
Little Jimmy works.
Little Jimmy is a guitar whiz, a child prodigy, if you will. And
Right,
we're going to be performing a Hendrix medley later on of a couple songs.
Yes.
You know, that we just learned. I'm going to be playing bass, and I'm using a pick because I'm not a bass player. I'm a guitar player.
I'm attempting to play Hendrix.
And we're just going to have some fun and go with it. So I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, woo, woo, you're not as good as Hendrix. Yeah, well,
We know.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Nobody is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, being such a young guy, you're in your 20s here. How did you
29.
get influenced, and how did you learn to love Hendrix?
Oh,
and
man,
how did you get involved in all
I
this?
have to say it was my father.
Yeah.
I
know your dad was a huge Hendrix
Oh
fan.
man, I had Hendrix
He
drilled.
even signed his name like
Yeah, Jimmy.
Oh, that's right,
J-I-M-I.
his name.
And that's-
J-I-M-I.
Anytime I saw Jimmy spelled like that, because of him. I think it was so drilled from birth. Hendrix was always playing.
Yeah.
Anytime I was in the car with him, music was on, and about 65% of the time of that, some Hendrix was incorporated because he had mixtapes or something. Hendrix song would come on, and he'd completely, go through everything about the song, how Hendrix played it, his feeling and what he did for
stoned.
music. Dad was always, he was always stoned.
Who, your dad or Hendrix?
Yes.
No, both.
No, Dad.
Dad was always stoned.
Dad was always stoned.
But it made him more, I think,
In tune to music.
Not only that, but into what he was telling me, and really just very descriptive in everything. And I think that helped me get into Hendrix. Like as a kid, you think like, oh my God, he's a god.
Mm-hmm.
And the way my father portrayed him, that's what he was to me. You know? And I think to this day, I still have that statuesque idea of Hendrix, and especially his guitar playing. And
Absolutely.
Listening to Hendrix as a guitar player, the first 3 or 4 years of playing, everything I did was Hendrix.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
soaked in as much as I could of him, and it incorporates basically in what I do today, or try.
Since you were
try to
6.
play. Yeah, since I was 6.
That's what I was going to ask. You
Yeah.
started playing at 6?
Yeah, I did.
No, nice.
Yeah, but from the ages of like 6 to 12, it was kind of floating around, fumbled upon. I tried taking lessons, didn't really do it. Picked it up here and there, was always there. And then once I hit 12, 13 years old is when I really just saturated myself with music and guitar and Hendrix and everybody. From
Rock the house.
Rock the house.
And you realize that playing the guitar gets you girls as well, so...
Yeah, that's what you want to say.
Show your cups. You got a cup,
Yes,
Maria?
she
You gotta show
does.
up your live.
Live from Dennis's house. So,
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for
Christmas
coming on.
present
Mhm.
from the wifey.
So,
delicious.
as I say, that if anyone plays the guitar and they say, oh, I don't like Hendrix, I'm not influenced by Hendrix, what should you do to this person? punch them directly in the face.
Yeah.
That's it.
Drawn in court.
That's it. You cannot be a guitar player.
I don't know
and say you're
how
not
you
influenced.
can say that as a guitar player.
Yeah.
Honestly. And say, you know, I don't like Jimi Hendrix's guitar playing or style of guitar playing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there would really be no. Not to say he created so many genres in what he did.
He opened the door.
He really did. He opened the floor. I mean, you have guys like Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, Robin Trower. You know,
there's a million great guitar players.
There's a million great guitar players. But
Hendrix.
when Hendrix came out, you know, you
Exactly.
have those guys went holy shit.
All of them. I
Yeah.
remember
They
that.
all
I remember
went,
that
like,
story back in London. They all went to see him.
Yeah.
And like
They left
Pete
study.
Townsend.
Pete Townsend
he
was
said,
there.
"What are we gonna do now?"
Now we're done. You know, we might as well just all give up and retire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that says a lot. And then, you know, till this day, how I think the fact that his music has stood the test of time proves what he
From generation to generation.
from generation to generation.
Because, you know, I didn't even realize it till I was getting ready for the show, and I was like, you know what? They only put out 3 studio albums.
Are You Experience, Electrolyte, and Axis Build of Love.
Exactly.
And then anything else like South Saturday,
all the
Delta,
live stuff and all that. You know,
Raise of the Rising Sun, all those other albums.
yeah, there's a million after his death and stuff.
Yeah, they just
but
released one
3
a few
studio.
months ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but 3 studio albums.
Yep, and this was the final studio album, and it's a double album. One of the greatest albums ever recorded. Every
#1
song on
charts,
here is
yeah.
awesome. Yes, that this was their most commercially successful.
Absolutely.
And
Across the world,
the
too.
Dylans, they did covered All Along the Watchtower, which was their most popular song of all time. I would think Purple Haze was.
It was
I didn't
not.
realize
It was
All Along the
not.
Watchtower
All Along the
was.
Watchtower was the
Yeah.
only #1 hit they
Have you
had.
ever been to Electric Ladyland Studio?
No, I have
You
not.
should go.
Have you?
I have.
What? You can just walk in there and take a
You
tour?
sure can. You can walk
Oh,
in.
Well,
snap.
you were there
Well,
for a
I
different
spent
reason.
time in
You
there
were
a
there for a
month.
different reason.
Whoa.
I was there.
Yeah.
Is there something I should know? You recorded your first album there?
No, I spent 2.5 weeks with AC/DC.
Oh, brother. I think you're going to have to leave the room
Playing
now,
Pac-Man.
Jimmy. What do you mean? Tell me this story.
Yeah, this is a great story.
This is the best story ever.
Yeah,
Go.
it's
They
amazing.
recorded, and I spent 2.5 weeks there with them. And they actually had to stand on crates to play.
Oh, that's right, because they're all tiny
They're
little
very
guys. Yeah.
short.
Yes, they were standing on crates to play the game.
What
and
was
even
this? What
pinball.
album? What album were they
Oh,
recording?
gosh,
Do you remember?
It had to be
was
back
this
in
in the
black.
80s?
It had to be back
It
in
70s?
was in the
Yeah.
late 70s, early 80s.
Wow.
So it had to be back in because Back in Black came out 81.
Back in Black.
Bon
Right,
Scott.
right. That
It was Back in Black.
Bon Scott died. Brian Johnson took over.
Oh, so Brian Johnson was in the
Brian
band?
Johnson was
and-
there.
all right. Wow, that's their
That's amazing.
amazing album.
Yeah.
The
That's
best
amazing,
album in
yeah.
my mind.
And
Yeah.
you can walk in there if you'd like to.
Oh, wow. I would definitely.
get-
I don't know.
back.
I don't know if you could still do that, Mom. I don't know if you could still just walk in.
I'm
But
gonna
you were,
s-
It's still in the village.
yeah, but I
They
don't.
let you walk in. The receptionist
I'm
is
going to
there.
say Maria sent me when I go.
Yeah, there you go.
And did you know this was not actually recorded at Electric Ladyland?
It was
That's a
not.
shame.
It was
No,
not-
it's shocking.
Although Electric Ladyland did exist at the time.
Right, right.
But I think Chaz Chandler might have
Mhm.
had something to do with that because he was producing it.
Mhm.
Chaz Chandler wanted to really put his hands on this, but you know, so I think that's why it wasn't. Electric
Yeah,
Ladyland.
I think they parted ways after this
They
album
did
too.
because he
Chaz Chandler was the manager
Yes,
and
yes.
discovered Jimmy and
He was
all
also
that
in
stuff.
the Animals.
Right,
He was the
right. He was the
bassist
bass
for-
player from the
bass player
Animals.
for the
Yeah,
Animals,
very
yeah.
good. You're up on your stuff, man. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, so with this album, he he went to experiment with new stuff too. He had new genres, had new started playing in jazz stuff, and he had new musicians on here.
tons of musicians. in and
I
out.
forget. Oh, Stevie Winwood was on
He
here.
played the piano on what song? Voodoo Child?
I forget. I don't
think
know which
Stevie
one. I know he
played-
was on here,
yeah.
and a lot of other guys. And this was Buddy Miles.
Buddy Miles was
right?
on there.
I
And
love that stuff. How did you feel about that?
The Buddy Miles?
Buddy Miles and Billy Cox when they
Yeah,
did
and the
Band of Gypsies.
I'm actually going to see them in a month.
The Band of Gypsies?
Billy Cox, Buddy. They're doing the Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
tribute
they're
tour.
doing that thing at Count Basie?
Yeah, you
Oh,
know,
I'm
they
coming
are.
with you now.
I'm
You
gonna-
got an extra ticket for me?
I don't. I have somebody else going with me.
Yeah, well,
but
you better go get an extra ticket for me.
That person
Sold out.
Come on.
Oh, it's sold
It
out
is
already?
sold out.
Sold out.
Oh,
You can't
man.
go, yeah.
Maria, can't you get tickets? Can't you call ACDC and get me
Yeah.
a ticket?
I'll
Pull
give it
some
a
strings,
shot.
Mom. Pull some strings.
Yeah.
That's
So,
great.
I was on last
But
night
any-
looking for that.
Were you?
Yes, I was.
Oh, interesting. But anyways, Billy Cox, Buddy Miles being on that album was a spark of basically everything he did in '69.
mm-hmm.
You know, that entire year was consumed by those two players.
Yeah.
and that was all from.
Because he was having a hard time back then because being black, he was getting crap from the African American community saying you should do this, you should do that, you know. And
Black
then
Panthers are trying to recruit him,
right. So therefore, that's why he, he felt the pressure and he got away from Mitch Mitchell and Noel Redding and he went with them. Yeah. And Buddy Miles was a great player. I love Buddy Miles, but Mitch Mitchell could play some drums.
Mitch Mitchell is the most underrated drummer, I think, of all time.
Let's hear him on Crosstown Traffic now.
Do it.
Listen to that. This is one of his best drumming songs, too. It's always that high note.
It's always, God.
Yeah. So, and did you know this was almost called Electric Landlady? Because the person designing the album, he spelt it wrong, and he said landlady instead of Ladyland, and Hendrix caught it himself at the last moment. He said, "Hey, what?"
I didn't know that.
Because he was annoyed at this. He didn't like this picture. He didn't want this. Back then, you didn't have as much pull, and the record company said this is going to be the album cover. Yeah. And Hendrix actually wanted a picture that Linda McCartney took.
Of
right.
Women. He's talking about the naked.
Not the naked ladies. There was another picture
okay.
that he wanted.
Okay.
And they did this, and in certain countries they did the naked ladies, which he didn't like either. And he didn't like Axis Boulder's Love cover, that one either. Yeah. So.
Wow, I didn't know that.
A lot of disgruntledness going on there,
He didn't like anybody telling him what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if he didn't approve it, he hated it, I'm sure. He was. Yeah, he's a bit of a control freak as well.
Yeah.
A bit of a control freak.
So, and something else that I found out, that I always thought his name was James Marshall Hendrix, and he changed it to Jimi Hendrix. But do you know his real name? His real name is Johnny Allen Hendrix. And
his father's name is
Al. Right.
Yeah,
so his name was Johnny Allen Hendrix, and then I guess this was kind of vague, but the older brother died, so the dad renamed Jimmy after he was born to the older brother's name, which was James Marshall.
Oh, really?
So he was born Johnny Allen. His older brother died, so the dad said, "All right, we lost one kid. Let's just rename this one." And
fill the spot.
Yeah, right. That's almost like.
Jeez, what an interesting. His childhood was interesting, though. Very interesting childhood.
I didn't really know much about his childhood.
His mother
enlighten us.
His mother was kind of a free spirit, So his grandmother influenced a lot because his mother wasn't always there, and his father was working constantly. So he kind of, and his grandmother was part Indian, and he's kind of dressing
American Indian.
American Indian, yeah. He's not 100% African American. So his childhood was spent mostly just with his grandmother and his guitar.
Yeah.
So
and then didn't he join the army instead of going to jail or something?
101st Airborne he joined, and that's how he met Billy Cox.
Oh, that's right.
That's how he met Billy Cox.
Very good. Wow, you are up on your stuff, man.
Oh, it's
very impressed. We're gonna have to have. Maria, you should have been prepared, and you should give us both a trivia contest to see who won. But
next time.
Yeah, right. Good. So let's play a little more of the next side now. This is perfect music for my show. Airs every Sunday. I'm gonna go right now and say. Stop the pretense. The show is not recorded live on Sunday mornings anymore. That I now record it because there's too much production stuff going on, and I got songs, I got editing, I don't have time. So I want to air the show every Sunday morning at 9 a.m., which it does. So what you need to do, it's very easy to find. Just go on YouTube. I have my own channel. Type in Live from Dennis's House, and all my shows pop up. It's just like when you go to the TV and you go to Channel 4, and that's NBC. It's just like NBC. Well, it might be a little different than NBC, but it's kind of the same premise. I have my own channel. Yes, you have your cups. You can watch this and go subscribe, share it, tell all your friends, hire a billboard. I got to start spreading the word now. I got to be bigger than the Kardashians by 2015. That's my goal.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yes.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Big banner on a plane.
Billboard.
Yes.
Over the ocean.
You can fly it.
So I have to check my notes here. All right,
Let's go back
I'll give you a little trivia contest here.
Sure.
Because what was the name of his first band?
Jimmy James and the
Yes,
Flames.
nice. Awesome. Yeah. All right. What age did he die?
27.
Yes, and who else was in the 27
Janis
club?
Joplin, Kurt Cobain, and Jim Morrison.
Right, and there's now Amy Winehouse has
Amy
now
Winehouse,
joined.
I'm
Brian
sorry.
Jones has
Yes,
joined.
Brian Jones.
And actually, I read today is Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones' 72nd birthday.
No way.
Wow, so there's something said for dying at 27.
Yeah.
Because they
Wow.
showed the picture of him, and he's
Jeez.
this handsome 27-year-old guy, and if I just imagine what he looked like at 72, but you
Keith
know.
Richards.
It's better. Yeah. I think it's better to stay alive. What else, Marie? You got any Jimi Hendrix trivia for him?
Anything?
No, sir.
All right. Who turned this? That song right there, I believe, was the first recorded Hendrix using the wah-wah. Who turned Jimi Hendrix onto the wah-wah? A famous guitar player.
Buddy Guy.
Wrong. Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. It may be, a lie, but
I could see
I
it.
saw it
I
on the
could
internet.
I-
Yeah, it makes sense.
I could see Frank
Absolutely.
Zappa absolutely influencing him.
So, yeah. Now, this is the news portion of the show, Maria.
News.
Yes.
Nice.
We have a whole bunch of stuff going on here. We have music, we have comedy,
We do it
we
all.
have
We do it
it's a
all.
variety show,
Yeah, we started
right?
watching the
So
show, yeah.
I like to report on people who passed away in the last week and the funny news stories and stuff. So this was the most interesting story that I found this week. It comes out of New York too. It's Herkimer, New York. Are you aware of where that is?
No,
Nobody
Herkimer
knows.
is way upstate.
Yes, it is.
Mom, why do
So,
you know that?
Yeah, well,
That's very odd.
we're gonna find. You're gonna wish you didn't know about that.
So
too.
are you?
That's where your real father lives.
Oh, Mom.
And this may be him. Ready? Police
What's his
say
name?
police say 2 men have been arrested after a central New York farmer discovered that his cows were being sexually abused.
Yep.
News outlets reported Friday.
Sounds like your dad.
Mom. I don't know what to say.
A farmer in Herkimer, which is near Utica, noticed his cows appeared anxious and were failing to produce milk. So he
Oh, my
installed
God.
video surveillance cameras and to determine why. And he contacted state police after watching the footage and discovering the animals were being abused. So police said 2 men in their 30s were arrested after one agreed to videotape the other attempting sexual contact with several cows. And one man didn't immediately return a phone message left Saturday at his home. And, I was thinking about that. You get a message. Hi, this is Channel 7 News. We hear you were violating a cow. Call me back. So, like, as soon as you get home, I got to call this person back.
Right away. It's the first phone call of the morning.
And then the other guy has no known address, which is shocking, too, right?
I know. Probably doesn't have one.
Maybe because
Probably
they have
doesn't
P.O. boxes.
So they were both charged with misdemeanor sexual misconduct against the cow and released with appearance tickets. So
Wow.
can you imagine that one too, sitting in the county jail and the guy next to you?
Oh, what did you do? So what'd you do? Well, you ever see a cow?
How do you tell your grandchildren that?
Yeah, right.
Hopefully it doesn't have grandchildren.
Yeah. So anyway.
You don't have any children. Your father would be upset.
Oh.
If he has to tell anybody that story.
Yeah,
right.
I know. Jeez.
So there was a lot of deaths this week.
Really?
Harold Ramis, do we know who he is? He was a famous writer, actor, director from the funniest movies of all time: Ghostbusters,
Ghostbusters. I'm sorry.
Stripes,
Yeah, I had to think for a
Caddyshack,
second. Yeah,
National Lampoon Vacation, Groundhog Day.
Yep.
He
Good
was,
movies.
Yeah, those were
And
all
did
amazing.
he write for
movies.
Saturday Night Live as
Yes,
well?
he
wrote
did
for SNL,
everything,
yeah.
and
That's
so
a shame.
yep, he'll be missed. And Paco de Lucia, how do you pronounce that?
Paco de Lucia,
Yeah. De Lucia,
He
whoever.
he was influential to me. When I found out he died,
Mhm.
I was
He's a
Who
great
is he?
flamenco guitarist.
he played with Al Di Meola,
Right.
John McLaughlin.
Mhm.
They
That was
did one.
amazing guitar
Yeah,
players.
their album one night in San Francisco, I believe it's called, was phenomenal. Mediterranean Sundance
Mhm.
is what he did with Al Di Meola, and that is a moving
We're-
musical piece.
We're gonna have you come back now. We're gonna do Al Di Meola or Mahavishnu Orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
And you play some of that.
I'll do some Al Di Meola.
No,
for you.
that'd
I'll
be
do
awesome.
Mediterranean. Yeah,
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll do some Al Di Meola.
So, and also, do you remember the movie The Warriors? The back in the
Yes.
70s? Well, the
We just
guy
watched
from The
that.
Warriors. Did you really?
Yes.
We just all
We
watched it
just
like 2 weeks
watched
ago.
it.
We all sat down.
Yeah, because the guy from The Warriors died.
Can you dig it?
Yeah, Cyrus.
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 Cyrus
He,
said it,
the
yeah.
guy, he was the leader who was assassinated in like the first 5 minutes of the
Yeah.
movie. And, you know, it's funny that this guy, Roger Hill, he was 65. He was a lifelong New Yorker, and he spent most of his career in the theater doing Shakespeare and Hamlet and all this stuff. And all anyone knows him for is the 5 minutes when he's in the Warriors saying, "Can you dig it?"
He made an impression.
Yeah, so. And who else died? Maria von Trapp passed away. You know who that is? The original, the real person in The Sound of Music. The Sound of Music was based on the Von Trapp family. And she was the little girl who, the reason why they got Julie Andrews to come over and be the babysitter. Because she was the little kid and she had scarlet fever or whatever. And I don't think it was really Julie Andrews. It was someone else. I think Julie Andrews just played her in the movie. But
Interesting. I had no idea
She was the nun.
Yes.
She was the nun.
And then the
The
last...
hills are alive.
Very nice. I like that. So she was 99 years old.
Wow.
So I'm pretty sure she died back during the war and in the 60s. But they're reporting her death again at 99, so we'll have to go with it. And the last but not least, Jim Lang died. He was the game show host from The Dating Game. Everyone remember that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the dating game.
Alright, so we're going to get back to the little...
I watch that now.
Is that still on?
Yes, it is.
Ah, there it is. There's All Along the Watchtower. Listen to that.
Outro's great.
And also on this album was Voodoo Child.
Voodoo Child and The Slight Return.
Yes.
Two very different songs.
So it's quite amazing.
I think I prefer Voodoo Child over The Slight Return.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that. That's something.
Yeah.
What else? What's coming on? I think this is it. Here, listen to that.
Slight
You
Return
can't tell me
comes in.
that. Yeah, listen to that. Wow, wow, wow.
It is good. It is good.
This is classic. Ah, we should have done this. All right, well, I'll sing along with this when it comes on. Let's listen. See, this is what I remember about your dad. When we were like 13, and we used to hang out in an abandoned car back behind his house in the alleys. Yeah, it was wintertime, and we were hanging out in the park, so we wanted a little warmth, so we sat in an abandoned car.
You mean in the yard?
Yeah. No, it was in the alley behind it. And we had, yes, in the park. And we had, yes, that was his yard. He lived behind the park. And we had our boombox blasting this out, and we'd all be sitting in the car. Yeah.
I have to ask you a question, go a little off topic. He told me a story once where you guys all went in a tunnel. And there's like tunnels underneath the bridge.
It wasn't a tunnel.
It was a sewer.
It was a sewer. Okay. So we were in a tunnel, but we're in a sewer.
There was sewer drains.
And he almost killed everybody.
Yeah,
that is true.
Absolutely.
Because he was like,
leaves.
There was like this sewer thing that came out in the park and was dry at that time. So you walked through like miles of winding sewer
but
pipe.
they're low, right? Like
You had to hunch
crouch.
over, right? So whatever happened, we'd get way back in there and stuff, and he decides to light a fire so we could see, and he lit it on the exit side of the pipe. So everyone's on the other side of the fire, and you had to run through. And I think your Uncle Kenny almost passed out.
Died.
We had to drag him out and give him CPR.
Oh, that's amazing. Everybody's like tripping all over each other. Nobody could see. And
Well, your father stood back cracking up.
Yeah,
he would laugh at crazy things like that. So, does he have access? Is he going to be watching this show, you think?
No, he is actually going to see this show.
Okay.
Is he really?
He's going to see this show.
Yeah, he can watch it on YouTube, right?
Yeah. No, he has to wait, though, until he gets to a computer to watch it. So he has to wait till he gets to Uncle Chino's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, that would be my dream show, too. Have Chino and, your father on the show at the same time.
You would never survive.
I don't think that. I don't know what that show. I don't know what happened. You have insurance?
You'd have to put Carol on a cruise.
I know. I think that'd be bad. Are you insured?
So listen to this. Come on.
Chino, Jim, and Albert in the same room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know like all your family, all your uncles.
You know
your Uncle
everybody.
Ray, your Uncle Kenny. We all grew up together
Raised
back
the
in
silent
there.
but deadly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So,
Racing.
yeah, listen to this. It's awesome. So, believe it or not, the show's coming to an end. See how fast that went? But we gotta. I know. Why I wanted you here, Maria. That this Sunday is Oscar Sunday, so we have to do our predictions of the Oscars. So I'm going to name the best pictures, and we're going to do our prediction here. For the best picture, the nominees are American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, Gravity, Her. Wow, there's a lot of movies
That's a
here.
lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
Then there's still Nebraska, Philomena, 12 Years a Slave, and The Wolf of Wall Street. Now, I gotta say, the only one I saw was American Hustle. I didn't see any of these other movies.
I saw
But
like 4 of the other movies.
how about Wolf of Wall Street? Did you see
Wolf
that?
of Wall Street
I
was
hear
good.
that was good.
Looked like my normal Tuesday night.
That's what Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yes,
isn't
yes.
it?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Nothing but debauchery for
Yeah,
3
Yes.
hours.
I think it's a
Exactly.
toss-up between that and American Hustle.
Well, I don't think they're going to give it to American Hustle because it's not serious enough, you know?
American Hustle.
It's too weird
the
and
banter
stuff.
and the
Yeah,
dialogue.
it's too complicated. They want weird stuff.
I
like,
think her.
I don't even know what that is. What's
Her
horror?
was actually really impressive. A guy falls in love with his.
Okay.
Oh,
his
the
computer.
phone.
His-
Joaquin.
And he
Yes.
carries the
Alright.
phone.
Yeah, his
that
artificial,
wins,
his
I'll be
iOS
disgusted.
system, his artificial intelligence.
Wow,
And he falls in love with it, and that was actually.
that's something.
Yeah.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
I don't
think
think
Wolf-
they're going to give it to that either. It's.
I think the Wolf of Wall Street.
I'm
Captain
gonna-
Phillips
Yeah,
might-
I think
Captain Phillips has a
Phillips.
good shot.
Yeah, Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips.
All right, so I'm going with Captain Phillips. We'll make our predictions and then we'll see when the show
Next
after
weekend.
the
Saturday or
Oscars.
Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going with Captain Phillips for Best Picture.
Captain Phillips.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay. Now for Best Actor, the leading actor: Christian Bale, American Hustle; Bruce Dern, Nebraska; Leonardo DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street; someone in blah 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 from 12 Years a Slave; and Matthew McConaughey from Dallas Buyers Club. Hey, I'm changing my movie pick, by the way. Let's go back. I'm picking 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, yeah?
I forgot about that. They love that. That was real serious. And
Yeah.
So I'm going with 12 Years a Slave. All right, so Best Actor. I am going with Matthew McConaughey because he's playing somebody who has
He
AIDS
lost a lot of weight,
and he
yeah.
lost a lot of weight.
Yes.
They love that
They
kind
love
of
him.
stuff.
Yes.
You
I'm
dedicate
going
your
with
body.
Matthew.
They love
Exactly.
when you
Like,
dedicate
you
your
know,
body.
if you lose weight, gain weight, you play a retarded person. I can't say that, but whatever. Nobody
I
watches
saw-
the show anyway.
you can say it. You can say it. It's fine.
I saw a half-hour preview of Matthew McConaughey, and I'm going to go with him because he did awesome.
All right, so we're all going with Matthew McConaughey?
I'm going with Matthew
Nice.
McConaughey.
All right, Best Actress. Amy Adams from American Hustle. Kate Blanchett, Blue Jasmine. Sandra Bullock, Gravity. Judi Dench, Philomena. And Meryl Streep from Osage County. I'm going with Amy Adams for this. Although I hear Kate Blanchett was really good. I didn't see any of these movies, so I have to say
I don't
Amy
know
Adams.
why. I don't want Sandra Bullock to win, but I feel they're going to give it to her.
Was she good in that one?
I didn't see it. It's just
Ah.
her floating in space for 2 hours.
Yeah, I know, like kind of. And then there's Meryl Streep. She's always, in the
but
top
she's-
running, but
yeah, she was,
You know what it is about
what's that?
that movie Gravity?
What's that one?
She really is in deep. I'm
Yeah.
going to go with.
mhm.
I think they're going to give it to Sandra Bullock for some
Yeah,
reason.
I'm
Even
going
though I
with
don't think she
Sandra.
should win it.
All right, we'll find out who's right. The winner gets $500 from Maria. All right.
Genesis.
Well, our time is up, and thank you guys for coming on. I hope you had fun. It was a great show. Let's show our cups again.
Raise the mugs.
Live from Dennis's house. So let's discuss this album.
Yes.
You think people should have this album in their collection?
Everybody should have this album.
Everybody.
Whether you like rap, country, classical, you should have this album.
Yes. Even if you have 10 albums, you can go out and get this one. This one's probably, might be a little expensive to buy it now. I don't know. But for $20, you can probably get it somewhere.
Some record shop, yeah.
Yeah, if you're starting your record collection over. Or a CD,
You can get that
MP3. Yeah, you can get it. So it's one of the best albums ever recorded. Jimi Hendrix, one of the greatest guitar players of all time.
Absolutely.
And everyone was influenced by him. So that's it for this week. We're going to do our Jimi Hendrix medley here.
Yes.
And we'll see how that works out. All right.
Give it a shot.
See you guys next week. Live from Dennis's house. See, I'll sit here for a second, then I'll cut it out. the end of time.